Okay, we're at Yoma, page 51, and we're going to start off with a last couple of points regarding the previous discussion. What we're really getting to is the par of the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur, which atones for himself and his family. What is its status? Is it Korban Yachid or Korban Sibur? On the one hand, for sure, he brings it from his own money. We're going to see that today. On the other hand, it atones for a whole group of people, all the Kohanim. So what is its status? So, and we're testing out that concept through several details. And right now, the detail we're using to test it out is regarding Timura. Torah says if you consecrate an animal and you try to substitute it with another, both of them become kodesh. That applies to Korban Yachid, not to a Korban Sibur. So it's a good test case if we can see. If we can answer that question. So on the previous stuff, we brought this complex braita of the comparative chumrot between zevach and timura, right? And each one has something more machmir than the other. When we read it, it looks like it's talking about two general categories of an initial zevach and a timura. But when we look carefully, the first paragraph here says, Yachid kevasibur is tochesh Shabbat and tum'ah. What do you mean? It could be a Yachid, Korban Yachid and tochesh Shabbat and tum'ah? That's not usually true. So therefore we said it's not talking about the general category of any zevach, but a specific one. So what's a Korban Yachid? That's tochesh Shabbat and tum'ah? The part of Yom Kippur. And it says you can make a timura. So there you go, we have our answer, right? It is considered for the law of timura to be a Korban Yachid. And therefore, it's considered Korban Yachid. You cannot, Timura does work. So we thought that was an answer. And Rav Sheshet came along and said, not so fast. Maybe the particular zevach that's describing is the ayil of Aharon. That's an ayil, that's an olah, that's a Korban Yachid. And so you have no proof from here. This is not necessarily talking about that. He tried to say that his answer is better. We ended up saying, no, his answer is not necessarily better. But so that's it. We're leaving it ambiguous. Okay, what we're starting off now with is a few lines down on 51a. Ulrav Sheshat admokim la be'elos shel Aharon lukma bePesach. You got it? 51a. Ulrav Sheshat. Yeah, right here. Okay, so Rav Sheshat, when he was challenging that hypothesis that it's not talking about the part of the Kohen Gadol, it's talking about the ayil. Why did he say it's talking about the ayil? There's another better possibility, the Korban Pesach. That's also Tochesh Shabbat and Tumah, right? We know that very well. If you did Pesachim, you do it on Pesach. If the 14th of Nisan is on Shabbat, and the Tumah, yes, you do it anyway. Timura, the Korban Yachidu. It's a Korban Yachid, and if you try to substitute Korban Pesach with another one, they both get consecrated. That fits into that braita. So why didn't he challenge and say, no, not the part of Yom Kippur, it's the Pesach? The answer is, Kasavar en shochatin Pesach al Yachid. He holds the general opinion that Korban Pesach you cannot bring alone. You have to have a partner. You have to have at least one partner. And so it has a communal or at least a joint partnership, right? Shutafin. And it makes sense that Shutafin, you can't make a timura because if we all share it, who's authorized to make the timura? It's like, you have a public stock company. How do you sell it? You have to make it back into a yachid. So therefore, since he holds of that opinion that Pesach is not yachid because it has to be more than one person, that's why he didn't ask from that. All right, now further question. How come Rav Sheshet didn't use Pesach Sheni? That also, V'nukba Pesach Sheni, that also fits into the category. It's a Korban Yachid that you can bring alone. You don't need partners for Pesach Sheni. And you do it on Shabbat and Betum'ah. Well, Midachet Tum'ah, is that true? We're going to see it's a machloket actually, whether Pesach Sheni is Dochet Tum'ah or not. The whole reason you brought it is because you were Tameh the first time. Now you're going to bring this Tameh the second time? Okay, so now we figured out why Rav Sheshet went straight to the ayil and didn't suggest the Pesachim. I'm going to show the outline in a second. So what we have here is we're trying to answer this question. Can the bull create a substitute? And we said, according to this pod, it would, but maybe it's talking about Ayil, maybe it's talking about Pesach or Pesach Sheni. And now that we mentioned this machloket regarding Pesach Sheni, we're going to delve into a tangent regarding Korban Pesach. This tangent is going to relate to the source above we saw from the Mishnah, Tosefta and Timura, about Korban Pesach and Chagiga. So I'm going to pull that up just so we remember. It's a pretty simple Mishnah. It's good to have it directly in mind. It's up here. The Tanakh Kama says Korban Sibor is Doche Shabbat and Tumah. Korban Yachid is not Doche Shabbat and Tumah. That was his hypothesis. Anything communal, you can do it on Shabbat and Tumah, but not if it's personal. And then Rabbi Meir said, challenged it. And they said, wait, that's not a rule. Don't you have Korban Pesach? And that's a Korban Yachid, and that's Doche. And then Rabbi Yaakov says, I disagree also with the other side. You have Korban Chagiga, and that is a Korban Sibur, and it's not Doche Shabbat and Tumah. So since we had counter examples, then they suggested a different cloud altogether, which was that it has to be done on that day, it's Doche Shabbat. If it doesn't have to be done on that day, then it doesn't Doche Shabbat and Yom Tov. Okay, so we saw that question, why is there a difference between Pesach and Chagiga? Why is Pesach Korban Yachid and Chagiga Korban Sibur? Like they're very similar. So that's our question now. Amar le Rav Huna bered Rav Yoshua Rabba betana ma'ishna Pesach dekad de Korban Yachid u'ma'ishna Chagiga dekad le Korban Sibur. Truth is, there was two different Tanaim there, Meir and Yaakov, but in Tosefta version, they're both the same Tana. And anyway, they're all brought together. So conceptually, why? If you're going to tell me because the Chagiga is brought with the multitude, everybody comes and brings the Chagiga together. Pesach also we all bring together. It's the same thing. Maybe when Rabbi Meir said Pesach, he meant Pesach Sheni, that's brought, quietly, individually, and that's why he said it's Korban Yachid, and it is Doche. Wait, if it is Tumah Pesach Sheni, does it really override Shabbat and Tumah? For sure it does Shabbat, but how about Tumah? Yes, with that Tanah follows the opinion that says it does override not only Shabbat but also Yom Tov and Pesach Sheni, right? No Pesach Sheni, Pesach Sheni doche et Shabbat, no doche et Tumah. The Tanya. Now we're going to bring the Braita that brings both opinions. So Braita says Pesach Sheni does override Shabbat, but not Tumah. That's the first Tanakama. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, af doche Tumah. Yes, it does doche both. So that Baraita before was the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. So that's why it was categorized as a Korban Yachid. So the reason we're bringing this whole here is because we just mentioned it. We just mentioned that opinion. How come Rav Sheshet didn't bring Pesach Sheni? Because does it follow? Does it doche Tumah? It doesn't. But now we see both opinions. One says it does. One says it doesn't. All right, now what's the reasoning behind it? Oh, reason he has to do Pesach Sheni is because he was Tameh on Pesach Rishon. So we give him a second chance. So now he's going to do it B'tumah. He may as well just have done Pesach Rishon, right? Well, you didn't gain anything. Okay, so that makes sense. Right. Regarding Pesach, this is what we just read this. Regarding Pesach Sheni, it says you should follow all the rules of the original, of the Pesach Rishon, which means, yes, even if it's Tameh, you do it. Torah says, gives you a second chance. You tried. Oh, I tried. What can I do? I'm Tameh again? Okay, fine. You can do it with okay, good. So that concludes that discussion. And now we're gonna go back here. I'm looking at the outline, and we want to find another answer. Can the bull of Yom Kippur create a substitute? And we're gonna try to say yes from the word his bull, which means it's his own individual one. So let's see how we try to prove it. V'tepukli da'asher lo amar rachamana mishelo hu mevi. I'm going to actually quote the Pisukim here. If you look at the red Pisukim, Ve'ikriv Aharon et par chatat asher lo. It's his. right? He has to bring it with his own money. So that clearly shows it's Korban Yachid, and therefore you can, if you try to make a Timurah, it does effectuate a Timurah. Of course, it's Asur to do, but yes, it will work. And then on Pasuk 11, you have two more times. Vikri b'haron et par hatat asher lo. 3 times it says pad. Okay, can you get any clearer? It's true. It's mechaper on a lot of people, so that's going to be the challenge. Very good. So you you gave away the punchline. Right. Good. So why don't we learn from there? Tanya, here's a braita that describes that what we learn from this word. Asher lo mishelo hu mevi. Lo mishel sibur, he has to bring it from his own money and not from the community money. Echol lo yavi mishel sibur, she'en hasibur mitkaperin bo, aval yavi mishel echav hakohanim. You might think asher lo doesn't means you don't bring it from the communal funds for all of the nation because they don't get any benefit from it, but maybe he can do a collection from the Kohanim. Right? Everybody give a few dollars because it's going to be an atonement for the Kohanim. So that's why a second time it says Tamadomat asher lo. No, I mean really yours. Don't try to get out of it. Maybe you'll say avad. I tried. I don't know. I didn't get to do it. But I brought it from other people, and it's okay. Like how many times does that Hashem says Moshe? What? How many hours? 6? No, just fine. Don't leave it together. 12 hours. Right? So the pasuk repeats it to say it's indispensable. Yeah. All right. So we brought the braita. Clearly, it shows it's going to be his. Your question, if the other Kohanim don't have a share in it, then how can they be atoned with this pad? This is an interesting word, be'gaza. It seems to be similar to the word giniza. The nun is assimilated into that dagesh. Geniza, which means a storehouse. So the storehouse of Aharon, Rahamana, God makes it hefker to the other Kohanim. Yes, you bring it from your own money, but even though you bring with own money, God says this part belongs to everyone. So and therefore, you know what? You don't have an answer to this question to say yes, you can do Timurah. The answer could very well be no, you cannot do Timurah because even though he brings it from his own money, it ends up becoming a kind of communal sacrifice because everyone has to get atonement, so they all gain ownership in it. So the bottom line here, at least, is no, you cannot do Timurah. So this is a lot of technical details, but you can see how these technical details are really about a foundation of the essence of what it means to have atonement, that the leader atones for the group. Right? How does it work? Is it really only himself? And then as long as he does well, then everybody comes along with him? Or is it a group effort and they all have to chip in and be part of it? And that is in fact the bottom line. Okay, super interesting. And now we're going again in chronological order, and we left the Kohen Gadol. He's carrying the two shovels, the pan and the shovel, the ketoret, and now he's going into the Kodesh Kodashim. The question is, what path does he use to enter into it? היה מהלך בהיכל עד שמגיע לבין שתי הפרוכות המבדילות בין הקודש ובין קודש הקודשים, וביניהן אמה. So in the second Bet HaMikdash, there was two parochets that was separating between the Kodesh and Kodesh Kodashim. We have some pictures here. So what you see here is that he's going to walk in with both of them. He's going to go to the left, and that's where the opening of the front curtain is, and then he has to walk between the curtains. We have a picture of that too. Right here he is between the curtains. It's really tight. There's only an amma, and he's holding, burning hot coals. So I hope he doesn't burn the place down. And he's got to go through. And then when he gets to the other side, there's going to be an opening once again. So that's how he does it. The reason why he would go in this way is you always want to go in like the north is more important than the south here. So when he goes in from the south, he's actually then turning and he's going to enter Kodesh Kodashim from the north, right? You see that? Right, by the time he goes in south, he passes through the middle, he's going to enter into the north. So we always want to enter into the north, and that's even though he's going in the south, that's just his initial entrance. So that's the Tanakama. Rabbi, we're going to see is Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yosef Omer, lo hayta sham ela parochet achat belvad shneimar b'bdilat ha-parochet lachem ben ha-kodesh kodashim. Where did you get this idea? There's two parochot. There's only one parochet. Read the pasuk in Shabbat. Right? Ha-parochet. So there's only one, and since there's only one, so which way is he going to go? He's going to go to the right. We have a picture of that. Here, right? It's going to go in from the right. You see there's no parochet behind it. It just goes straight in. Okay, this is very interesting. And it relates to Halakha L'Maaseh today because in Bet HaKnesiyot, there is a custom to have two parochets besides the door. Not every Bet Knesset has it, but there is that is an old custom to have such a thing. Okay. So that's the Mishnah. Now the Gemara is going to analyze. Shapir Kamad Huda Bioseh, but Abanan Bioseh has a good point. The pasuk says one parochet. Where'd you get two? But Abanan Amri Lachane Bini Bamishkan. You're right. In the Mishkan there was only one curtain. Avaba Mikdash Sheni Kevan Dela Havai Amat Teraksin Ubamikdash Rishon Hu Tehavai Beistapeka Lehu Rabbanan Bekedush Shateh. Okay, now we need a whole history of this. In the Mishkan, there was only one curtain. In the first Bet HaMikdash, you had something that looked like this, a wall. First Bet HaMikdash of Shlomo, you had a wall and then a small curtain. So, and this wall was an amah thick. So that's fine. So he would just one curtain and you just go in. Fine. When they made the second Bet HaMikdash, they didn't have a wall like this. Why not? The Gemara doesn't say. The Rishonim say maybe because it was even taller. The second Bet HaMikdash was taller than the first Bet HaMikdash, and it was hard to make a wall that high. That's only an amah thick. It wouldn't be stable. So they just made a parochet. The question is, what do they do with that amah? Is that like the inside or like the outside? They didn't know where it goes. So they said, you know what? Make two parochets. And that will be like the thickness of the wall. So he has to go through, and that explains why there's two in the second Mishkan. That was right to be Yosef. The Mishkan there wasn't, but the way the architecture developed, now we have two parochets. Okay, so now that explains it. Now we're going to see precisely which way he walks. Tenor Banan. Ben HaMizbeach LaMenorah Haya Mehalech Divrei Rabbi Yehuda. Yehuda says he's going to go to the left. Here we go, right? So Rabbi Yehuda is of the opinion that there was two parochets, and therefore, since he has to get to the south over here, he's going to go, the Mizbech is right in the middle, so he's going to pass the Mizbech on the left of it, and then pass the menorah on the right of the menorah, and go, diagonally to that opening, and then he'll go through. That's the first opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Meir Omer, En Shulchan LaMizbech. Rabbi Meir, we're going to see, he agrees with Rabbi Yosef that there's only one parochet. So therefore, he's going to go to the right. So he says, no, you go on the right of the Mizbeach, on the left of the Shulchan, and you go in from the north. And then we have a third opinion. Ben Shulchan LaKotel. You go all the way on the side. In other words, here's the second opinion. And the third opinion is you go to the right of the Shulchan, right, all the way, butting up against the wall. Okay, we'll see what's the difference. Why would you go this way or that way around the Shulchan? We'll see a couple of interesting opinions. So that's the Braita, 3 opinions. Now we're going to analyze the Braita. Man yesh omrim, it's anonymous. Who is it? Amar Chisda, Rabbi Yosei. Amar pitcha besafon Rabbi Yosei, who said that there's only one curtain. Since there's only one curtain, the entrance is on the north. That's why he has to go on the right to get to the north. The first opinion says, no, I think there's two currents. That's why you have to go to the south and then go through and you'll come out on the north. Everybody always want to come out on the north. Fine. Now, Rabbi Meir, which one that we understand those two opinions? Rabbi Meir, it's kind of in which who does he agree with? If he agrees with Rabbi Yehuda that there's two curtains, you have to go to the south, then he has to go to the left, and he doesn't say that. He could be Yosef, now all could be Yosef. If he agrees with Yosef, there's only one curtain. You should go to the right, up against the wall. Why does he say you don't go up against the wall? You go to the left of the shulchan. לעולם כרבי יוסף סבירה לב, אמר לך שולחנות צפון ודרום מונחים ומפסקה לשולחן ולא מתעייל ל. In fact, he does agree with Rabbi Yosef that there's one curtain and he has to go to the right to get to the north. But there's another machloket about the shulchanot. Back in the time of the Mishkan, there was only one shulchan like this. But in the first Bet HaMikdash, and presumably in the second Bet HaMikdash also, they wanted to have more bread. King Shlomo said, let's make them even more. Why not? The more the merrier. And so he made 10 shulchanot. So here you have, besides the original one. And so how were they lined up? If they were lined up from north to south, you see they take up a lot of space. And so there's no room to go adjacent to the wall like Rabbi Yosef said. They're against the wall. So therefore you go around the Mizbeach, and you go through here, and then you go back, and that's why he said that opinion. Okay, so that makes sense. The first answer. If you want, I can give you a second answer. Maybe the truth is even the Meir could agree that they were placed this way, right, from the east to west, and therefore there's plenty of room. Yeah, you could walk that way, but he doesn't want to walk that way. You know why? Mishum Shekhinah. You're going to the place of Shekhinah. It's not proper. It's not respectful to go straight in, just barge right in. You should go a roundabout way. You know, when you're a guest, when you come into a foreign place, am I really invited here? You try to go roundabout, be humble. So you don't go beeline straight into the Shekhinah. That's not proper. Okay, that's interesting. How about Rabbi Yosef? What's he going to say to that? Rabbi Yosef Malach. Beloved is Israel. They don't need a messenger. They don't need an angel to intercede for them. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu invites us right in. Kohen Gadol, he's a messenger, but he's a human messenger. He represents us. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, come right in. Right? You have an open invitation. And so, yes, you can walk right in. It's really beautiful, right? That these two totally different philosophies, conceptions of how to approach the divine, literally how to approach the divine, right? Should we be humble, circumspect? I don't know if we can, who might even say, or right? Are we invited guests and we can come in with confidence? It's really two different aspects that we find on Yom Kippur and different prayers and different songs that we have. Who wins? That's it. There's two opinions. Right. Right. Exactly. Right. So the whole feeling could be. He's trepidation. So I think he's going to be nervous. Nervous no matter what. He's going to burn the curtain. Okay. Last line. Ne'ol ben menorah lakotel meshachrei maneh. Rabbi Yehuda, the first opinion, who said you go to the left. Well, remember, if you go to the left, there's room, right? Why not go all the way to the left and hug the wall to the left of the menorah? Answer is because then we'll get all black. There's lots of soot there from all the days and days of the candles lamps burning there. So then his white clothing will get all dirty. So that's just a practical reason. I like how we go from this lofty, deep philosophical reason to why not this way? No, you just get dirty there. It's not practical. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. Amen.